from going over Meri's house? Was that the
Meri
catalyst?
kicked me out. That was the catalyst. I was in my bed listening to her giggle on the phone upstairs all night long.
If there was ever a moment when the Sister Wives universe came crashing down with the full weight of betrayal, heartbreak, and explosive behind-the-scenes revelations, it was now this very moment when fans woke up to the shocking news that TLC had allegedly banned Robyn Brown, effectively pulling the final thread from the unraveling fabric of the Brown family's once polished camera-ready image. The scandal has erupted across Reddit, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and every major gossip blog, with whispers becoming roars that Robyn has been fully iced out and that Cody Brown, her once proud husband and the so-called patriarch of this, collapsing empires, fighting to salvage whatever control and credibility he has left. And what triggered this monumental fallout? According to a web of leaked private dimes, insider reports, and unfiltered tell-all revelations, it wasn't just drama, it was deception, financial betrayal, manipulation, and what some former crew members are now calling intentional erasure of the other wives, Janelle, Christine, and Meri. The reports claim that for years, long before Christine walked away in season 17, Cody and Robyn had been secretly making family decisions behind the backs of the other wives, deciding on everything from filming schedules and plot lines to TLC paycheck allocations without input from the women they were supposed to treat as equal partners. The money, the screen time, the emotional labor, all seemingly funneled through a manipulative loop controlled by Cody and Robyn, leaving Janelle financially drained, Christine emotionally destroyed, and Meri abandoned in every sense of the word. Viewers who once admired the show for its unique take on polygamy now see it as a cautionary tale, a slow-motion train wreck built on patriarchal favoritism and spiritual manipulation. All televised for over a decade, fans are calling it the Robyn regime, alleging that the couple used TLC's pay structure to secretly divert funds into Robyn's name, including financing the $900,000 mansion they now live in while Janelle and Christine struggled with rent and Meri fought to keep her business afloat. And when fans found out that Janelle had no legal stake in the Coyote Pass land, despite investing into it for years, the rage ignited like wildfire. Online, hashtags like #JusticeForChristine, #FreeJanelle, and #CancelCody are trending, with thousands signing petitions demanding TLC remove Cody and Robyn from future episodes or completely restructure the show to center around the ex-wives, who are now being hailed as survivors of spiritual abuse. In a now viral TikTok, a former production assistant allegedly spilled that Robyn was constantly demanding edits be made to make her look more sympathetic, even as her former sister wives broke down on camera. But what sent this entire controversy into overdrive was a shocking behind-the-scenes clip released just days before the season 19 tell-all aired, showing Robyn refusing to watch key moments from the season, including scenes where Janelle vulnerably opened up about Cody's blatant favoritism. When asked how she felt about the upcoming interview with Sukanya Krishnan, Robyn grimaced and muttered, "I'd rather have a root canal," stunning fans with her complete lack of accountability. The tell-all, which was meant to bring healing and resolution, instead became a battlefield. Sukanya, often reserved and professional, was forced to call out Robyn directly, pointing out that she never reviews past episodes and consistently avoids confronting her role in the family's demise. Robyn's response, cold, dismissive, and shocking. She didn't care what Christine, Janelle, or Meri had to say. At one point, when Sukanya pressed her on being called Cody's sacred cow, Robyn smirked and shut the entire conversation down, refusing to address the very real emotional wounds her former sister wives were courageously putting into words. Cody too lashed out, defending Robyn with fury and refusing to acknowledge even the simplest truths. Instead of empathy or understanding, Cody counterpunched with anger, even snapping at Sukanya mid-interview, his voice rising in defense of a woman fans now see as the root of the family's fracture. But perhaps the biggest twist was yet to come, days after the tell-all aired. Insiders claimed TLC had held emergency executive meetings, with one anonymous staffer revealing to Reality Radar that the network was shocked by the negative reception and is seriously considering axing Cody and Robyn entirely. TLC, once comfortably milking the Sister Wives brand, is now neck-deep in PR disaster mode. Multiple sources confirm that TLC quietly suspended upcoming filming and is debating a potential rebrand that would follow Christine's remarried life, Janelle's financial independence, and Meri's emotional awakening, leaving Cody and Robyn in the dust. The fan outrage reached a boiling point when an alleged screenshot surfaced of Cody sending a text to an unnamed TLC producer, demanding that Robyn be given a special segment to explain her heart, which fans quickly mocked as yet another attempt to paint her as the victim. Meanwhile, Christine and Janelle have been open and raw in their interviews, speaking about years of being emotionally manipulated and financially controlled, while Meri dropped one of the biggest bombs of all. She claimed that Cody had stopped speaking to her for nearly a year before she officially announced their split, and that TLC had covered it up to avoid damaging their image. She said she had to beg to be included in scenes and was often only contacted when Cody and Robyn needed to soften their public image. All of this has left fans asking, what else has TLC hidden over the years? Was this entire franchise built on a lie, edited to protect Cody and Robyn while silencing the women who were being emotionally and financially drained for over a decade? Many now believe so. In response, Cody tried to fight back, filming a social media video where he claimed he was being smeared by bitter exes and insisted he never tried to hurt anybody. But fans weren't buying it. In fact, the backlash was so swift that he deleted the video within hours, after being bombarded with comments calling him delusional, narcissistic, and completely out of touch with reality. Robyn has gone quiet on all platforms, leading to further speculation that TLC may have officially silenced her through legal means, as rumors swirl that she's being investigated for tax inconsistencies related to the Coyote Pass financial documents that Janelle is now said to be gathering with the help of a private attorney. The once united Brown family is shattered beyond recognition, and fans have made it clear they want truth, justice, and accountability, not manufactured confessions and carefully crafted edits. As of now, TLC has not confirmed the fate of Sister Wives, but with ratings slipping, sponsors backing out, and every major tabloid reporting on the scandal, the clock is ticking. Will Cody and Robyn face a legal reckoning? Will Christine, Janelle, and Meri finally get the recognition and compensation they deserve? One thing is certain: this isn't just a television scandal anymore. It's a cultural reckoning, a reality TV implosion, and a brutal takedown of a patriarchal system that failed the very women it claimed to protect. And in the wreckage, as the truth finally rises to the surface, only one message echoes loudest. From fans across the world: we see you, we believe you, and we're not looking away. Stay with Starspill USA as we continue following every twist, every leak, and every bombshell that turns this reality saga into something even the Brown family never saw coming.
Person the last few years, and I have to recognize it for what it is. It's just him in a painful place, and him in a...
If fans thought the Sister Wives tell-all would bring healing and honest reflection to a fractured family, what they got instead was a heartbreaking, rage-inducing descent into denial, deflection, and defiance from Cody Brown, whose behavior shocked even his most seasoned critics. From the moment host Sukanya Krishnan posed her first hard-hitting question, Cody's demeanor shifted from uncomfortable to downright antagonistic. And by the end of the special, it had become painfully clear this wasn't a man interested in growth, accountability, or reconciliation. This was a patriarch who refused to surrender his ego, even as his empire lay in ruins. As Suki calmly but persistently challenged Cody on his contradictions, favoritism, and abandonment of multiple family members, Cody responded not with introspection but with verbal combat. When asked why he claimed to want to fix all his marriages, but simultaneously admitted he didn't love his wives the same way, Kody bristled, visibly offended, and launched into a defensive tirade that had fans across the country shouting at their screens. Rather than accept any responsibility, he doubled down on the very behaviors that led to the collapse of the family in the first place, blaming everyone else while demanding sympathy for his so-called suffering. He accused his children of being disloyal, alleged that his former wives ganged up on him, and bizarrely referred to his love with Robyn as having a divine aspect, suggesting that their spiritual connection was so pure, it justified the emotional neglect of the other. "Wives, we've been slapped for it," Kody claimed, likening his preferential treatment of Robyn to persecution, while minimizing years of hurt endured by Janelle, Christine, and Meri. He even implied that the other wives were bitter salesmen who couldn't close the deal, a metaphor so dismissive it sent shockwaves through social media. Reddit threads exploded, with thousands of fans dissecting Kody's meltdown, labeling him a narcissist, a gaslighter, and a man so consumed by pride that he was willing to burn down his entire legacy just to prove a point. Robyn, for her part, did little to stem the fallout. Though she has long positioned herself as the peacemaker, during this tell-all, her veneer cracked. She rolled her eyes, refused to watch clips from the season, and delivered one of the most toned-up lines of the entire special. "I'd rather have a root canal." Her dismissiveness toward her former sister wives' pain was palpable, especially when Suki confronted her on being called Kody's sacred cow. Robyn shrugged, scoffing at the notion that her role in the collapse of the family needed to be examined. Fans weren't buying it. Many now believe Kody and Robyn went into the tell-all with a coordinated plan to repair their image. But that strategy fell apart the minute they were met with actual accountability. As Kody spiraled into anger, Robyn reverted into victimhood, saying she felt like the idiot who got left behind while Christine, Janelle, and Meri embraced independence. But even Robyn couldn't hide her disillusionment forever. In one scene, she admitted to feeling like she was walking on eggshells around Kody, revealing, "I'm on my toes, constantly trying to make sure he doesn't sabotage our relationship." That confession sent a chill through the fandom, sparking speculation that Robyn, once the favored wife, now lives in fear of Kody's emotional volatility. And the cracks in their marriage run deeper than anyone realized. "We're probably doing the worst we've ever done in our marriage," Robyn confessed in the season 19 premiere. A startling admission for a couple who once claimed to be the blueprint for lasting love. Kody, meanwhile, is grappling with what he called a crisis of confidence, admitting he can't even look in the mirror and say he loves himself. But the most damning moments came when Kody talked about his children, particularly Gabriel, Garrison, and Maddie, whom he's essentially estranged from. He accused them of colluding against him, claimed their disapproval triggered him, and lamented that he felt excommunicated from his own family. But rather than take steps to repair those relationships, Kody placed the burden of reconciliation on his kids. He demanded apologies not just from them, but to Robyn. The boys need to give an apology to Robyn, he insisted, suggesting that his children's inability to embrace Robyn was the true source of the divide. But Janelle wasn't having it. In one of her most powerful moments, she told the cameras, "Whatever, Kody. Yeah, whatever." She recalled how Kody distanced himself from their kids after the COVID disagreements and later acted as though they owed him something. "The big spark for me," she said, "was when his relationship broke down with my children. And he didn't seem like he would move heaven and earth to fix it. That realization was the final straw. I'm going to always choose my kids," Janelle declared. That line echoed across fan forums like a rallying cry. Gabriel, too, spoke out, describing one deeply awkward moment when Kody texted him, saying, "I forgive you. Please forgive me." Gabriel's response was heartbreaking. "Forgive me for what?" The emotional disconnect between father and son was palpable, and it became obvious that Kody no longer knew how to be a parent, at least not to the children, who dared to question him. And it wasn't just Gabriel and Garrison. Madison, Janelle's oldest daughter, has also cut ties. She doesn't have any relationship with Robyn, Janelle revealed, stripping them both off. Smatty reportedly doesn't want her kids to have a relationship with Kody unless he's willing to fully show up. Half-hearted parenting won't cut it. And so, when Kody couldn't meet that standard, Maddie and her husband Caleb Brush quietly stepped away. The rejection was too much for Kody to handle, so he simply stopped calling. This pattern of behavior avoidance, blame, and emotional manipulation has played out time and again. But this time, the audience isn't looking away. Christine, Janelle, and Meri have broken free. They've told their truths. They built new lives. And meanwhile, Kody stands alone, angry, bitter, and publicly unraveling. Fans are now calling for a massive restructuring of the show, or a complete cancellation altogether. The pressure on TLC is enormous. Petitions are circulating demanding that Kody and Robyn be removed. Sponsors are reportedly reconsidering future deals. Even insiders from production have leaked that there is a genuine conversation happening about replacing the current format with a spin-off focused entirely on the ex-wives. Behind the scenes, TLC executives are panicked. One source told Reality Radar, "This is a disaster. The backlash is bigger than anything we've seen since the show started." And that's not hyperbole. Sister Wives has always been a cultural flashpoint, a window into an alternative lifestyle. But now it's a case study in emotional abuse, gender imbalance, and the destruction that follows unchecked ego. For years, Kody Brown sold viewers the illusion of balance, of shared love, of family unity. But what was really happening was rot, decay, the slow suffocation of three women who gave everything and got so little in return. And when they left, when they dared to reclaim their worth, Kody's mask fell. The tell-all didn't just expose the truth, shattered the myth, and in the rubble, what remains is a man who refuses to change and a woman, Robyn, who may finally be realizing she married into something far darker than she ever anticipated. Whether TLC has the courage to pivot to center the stories of survival, growth, and real healing that remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the fans are watching, and they're not interested in another season of Kody Brown's pity party. They want justice, they want truth, and they want the network to acknowledge what so many have seen for years, that Kody Brown was never a leader, he was a performer. And now, the show is over.
Our nanny was able to hang out with our kids, and none of the other kids could. I basically wrote down the rules that we have for our nanny.
She has felt like until Kody can be consistent, show up without chaos, and stop turning every encounter into a stage for dramatic self-pity, it's better if her children don't know him at all. And that declaration from Maddie Brush didn't just sting, it drew a hard line in the sand. Despite Robyn's mild claims that she's encouraging Kody to reconnect with his estranged kids, even she betrayed her bias when she said, "I think the kids should be doing the same thing too." As if decades of emotional absence could somehow be bridged by children extending olive branches to a man who continues to build fences instead. Kody, meanwhile, dismisses any effort as a setup, accusing his daughter of fishing for gossip and claiming he grew tired of being baited, missing the entire point. It was never about drama, it was about wanting a father. And yet, the same man who once coined the poetic phrase "love" should be multiplied, not divided, casually admitted on national television that he never loved Meri Brown, his first wife, a woman who gave him her youth, her loyalty, and the only legal marriage he'd ever had before he divorced her to legally marry Robyn. During the June 15th one-on-one, Kody excused that confession as a knee-jerk reaction, blaming the emotional whirlwind of being trashed by his ex-wives as the reason for telling Meri on their anniversary that he never truly loved her. But Meri didn't let that slide. In a September episode, she questioned why a man would marry a woman he didn't love. Why did he pick me out of a crowd? Propose and force himself to try for 32 years? She asked, her voice trembling with a lifetime's worth of heartbreak. Kody's response, smug. Meri has her little accusations now, followed by a tone-deaf reflection that their marriage was always miserable and never had a honeymoon period, which he claimed to know because his relationships with Janelle, Christine, and Robyn were all, in his words, so much better. And yet he stayed, not out of love, but out of fear, because in their religious world, asking for a divorce would be the ultimate betrayal, a shattering of spiritual laws that demanded loyalty over happiness. Meanwhile, Janelle, who had already endured years of Kody's absence and manipulation, found herself considering legal action just to get an answer about Coyote Pass, the land that had become the symbol of empty promises and financial gaslighting. "I think I'm going to have to lawyer up," she confessed to Christine during the September 22nd episode, acknowledging that without a legal marriage, she had no legal claim over the land. "It's complicated," she added. "It's not like I can just divorce him. There's no marriage certificate to tear up." While she and Christine now see their kids and each other as the core of the family, the idea of reconciling with Kody or even contacting Robyn or Meri is so far-fetched, it's laughable. "I don't see that changing," Janelle admitted, cementing the reality that the Brown family is not just broken, it's dissolved into irreparable fragments. But Kody, ever the revisionist, insists that things only went south when his marriages. Diddy looks back on their Las Vegas cul-de-sac days with romanticized nostalgia, calling them the best days of his life. "Back then," he says, "Maddie and Caleb were around, everything was easy, and he loved Caleb like a son. But once they moved to Arizona and the pandemic hit, everything soured, as if the virus, and not years of neglect, favoritism, and failed leadership were to blame." Christine shut that narrative down instantly. "The kids were frustrated long before I left," she said, making it clear that Kody's version of events is nothing more than a cover story. And Kody, despite acknowledging that he's angry, hurt, and feels ostracized, still refuses to take blame. "I'm not going to take responsibility for what my wives told them I did," he snapped, ignoring the years of first-hand experiences his children lived through. And still, he clings to hope. "I hope we'll find forgiveness and love again," he says, with all the conviction of a man who hasn't called, visited, or listened. His relationship with Meri was, in his words, miserable from the beginning. Married at 21 and 19, respectively. Kody now says they never really knew each other. And once the paperwork was signed, the baggage became visible. Everything was a fight, he claims. She was never fun, never interesting. He said he tried to be curious, but he was bored. And yet, he stayed not out of love, but because a man in plural marriage can't just leave. It's forbidden. And so, he hung on, long after any joy had died. Meri, seeking closure and spiritual peace, asked their church for a formal release of spiritual divorce. "I don't want to be sealed to him for eternity if he doesn't want me," she said in the September 22nd episode, emphasizing that their marriages were never about the law, but about eternal covenants. Kody, true to form, pushed back. "I don't want to be accountable to this church and their BS," he said, preferring his anger to reconciliation. "It took her forever to realize it was over," he said, as if Meri's hopefulness was the real betrayal. Meanwhile, Christine, Janelle, and Meri's children aren't just estranged from Kody, they're divided from each other. A 2021 holiday gift exchange thread turned into an all-out digital war, exposing the deep fault lines between Robyn's children and the rest. "It all went south," Christine said. Robyn insisted her kids were stepping back for emotional safety, not because they didn't love the others. But the message was clear. The split was complete. Gabriel, ever the peacemaker, longs for a reunion. "Aurora used to be my favorite person," he confessed. "I always tried to hit Dayton up, but hope is dwindling." As he said bluntly, I'm not hopeful for a relationship with Dad. Robyn's kids, too, carry wounds. Aurora recalls being told she wasn't a real sister. Brianna admitted the blending never happened the way it was supposed to. Our parents could have done more, she said. Christine disputed that, noting her own daughter Isabel was close with Robyn's kids, and that even Michael T. once lived with them. We always invited them, always. But somehow it never clicked. The fractures were too deep. And now, what remains is a shattered spiritual kingdom with a king who refuses to abdicate and a family who's stopped waiting to be saved.